Hello once again, Star Wars Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. At the time of me recording this video, it is still mid-September, but you will be watching this in November. That is how far ahead I have in my videos. Yes, just a little update. I have been crazy busy with doing claim sales, doing some auctions, particularly with Star Wars Daddy. I've been purchasing stuff from him week after week after week, and I've been trying to run unboxing shows with those, not to mention ordinary eBay auctions and things of that nature. So there's been a lot of stuff coming in for me to unbox. Much of it is stuff that I'm flipping in a future sale, or parts of stuff that I'm putting together to flip, to make a complete vehicle or a complete vintage playset that I can flip in a future sale. But some things are for my own personal collection, and there are, on occasion, new items that I have purchased. I remember back in the old days when I would go to Toys R Us or to Target or to Walmart, and I would find, 5 figures that I was waiting to find, or I'd find a vehicle or a playset. Those are no longer the days, my friends. This is not something that we do anymore. We do pre-orders on places like Hasbro Pulse and Entertainment Earth, sometimes Amazon, sometimes Walmart, sometimes Target, but we do pre-orders. And then the pre-orders come in sometimes 4, 6, 8, 12 months later after you order them. And in my case, my absent-mindedness or just being overwhelmed with other things like my regular day job, I don't always remember to look up. I get an email saying this order's for shipping, but I forget to look at what the order is. So they come as a surprise. So it becomes kind of like the holidays. We're going to open up our Christmas or birthday presents. So yay. And that's what we have here. We have 2 items from Entertainment Earth and a larger box item from Hasbro Pulse. So I did happen to go on and look at my unfulfilled orders, meaning orders that I pre-ordered. And I remember a time when Entertainment Earth were 20, 25, even 30 pre-orders that I had put out there that have yet to come in. I'm down to 3 at the time of this recording. Now, it's possible that between now, when I record, and when November comes and you're viewing this, that we will get a few more pre-orders in there. Okay, it's possible. I feel like they are, that might happen because obviously the holidays are coming. I did do one pre-order, and this is like in the midst of this. There was a Halloween. There was one Halloween and one Christmas-related Black Series, which is now the only Black Series I buy. The holiday-themed figures. Okay, I think it was like the Asajj Witch figure, and then there was like a trooper who looked like a gingerbread trooper. I'm not even sure, but I love them, and I put them up for the holidays, so I don't mind purchasing them because they're holiday I see them as holiday decorations. There was one I missed completely. It just went complete under my radar or over my radar or whatever, and that was the Astromech Holiday Edition droid, but that's sold out. So I will maybe look for that on the at a toy show or something to purchase it at a later date. So yeah, but right now I only have 3 items on pre-order. That's it. And on Hasbro, I think I have maybe 1 item. So it's weird. It's weird that much of my collecting now has been shifting over to things like eBay auctions, regular auctions, claim sales, that I am both getting the few new items, and that's what we have here. But again, I'm not doing Black Series anymore, and it's amazing without Black Series how limited my modern day collecting is. Not complaining, because I can use the funds that I would normally put towards trying to, fill the gaps of the vintage collection. But let's start with our Entertainment Earth unboxing here. And as I said, I do not know exactly what this is. I do enjoy how they give me a box, and in the box, there's typically another box. It's a very nice way of packing. I do appreciate them doing this, which leads me to believe that this is, in fact, a vintage carded figure, or not vintage carded, vintage collection figure. And it is. Is it just one? Yes, it is. We have Dengar, the VC01A. Interesting. Okay, so this is actually a re-release of the very first VC card that they ever released. Now, they have had the original trilogy collection had a series of figures, like kind of special figures that they released. The Saga collection kind of had a series of figures that they released that looked just like the old cards. But I consider the VC collection, the vintage collection, to be the definitive, Hasbro you know, ode or homage to Kenner, and that's what we have here. So I will put, actually, I don't even think I have to put, give me 1 second, because I have it right here. I have it literally right next, so I don't have to do the whole like superimposed thing. So here is the original. It's funny, they both have the same far upper left corner is a little bit frayed in both sides. That's interesting. So here's the VC01 figure, right? This is the one that came out, I want to say 2007. Am I right? I can't see if I'm right. I'm going to say that I'm right. No, I was wrong. 2010, excuse me. Here's 2010, right? And here is the Dengar from 2025. So I am collecting the release, although when I display them, I don't display them together. I probably will. I have this. They've now re-released about a dozen of these, and I've pretty much collected them all. I think one or two I might have parted with. You know, I just took the better of the two. But these are what they look like in terms of the thing about this, though, is that sometimes they re-release a figure and it's exactly the same. Meaning the figure might be slightly updated, but the card and everything is exactly the same. And here you can see it's a whole different card, different color pill, different color backdrop. This one has the free Boba Fett. So to me, these are different figures, okay? So I will, in fact, keep them both. Of course, that's figure number 1. And I have them all stacked next to each other, going down on one wall, then on another wall, then on my rafters. So now I'm going to have to move one and then move literally 400 figures over one. It's not going to happen right away. That's going to be that'll be maybe next summer project. So I'll take that one and put it off to the side for now. All right, moving on to this other Entertainment Earth box. Slightly bigger, but pretty lightweight. So this is, what do we have here? Looks like we have a couple of figures here. Okay, maybe. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna, pardon me while I move some boxes here very carefully. It's okay, they're all getting broken down into recycling. This is VC370, so we're getting back to the more modern ones. This is Crosshair, Bad Batch. Crosshair, I'm so happy they're making vintage collection versions of the Bad Batch. You know, that was, for a while there, that was my only hang up about giving up Black Series, was I didn't want to give up any figures that I didn't have vintage collection versions of. But I've even walked away from that. I've chosen to just collect vintage collection, and you know what? I feel better for it, because I like the even I continue to collect, I continue to purchase, I continue to put stuff in the collection. So eventually, more things are going to go out for sale. But I just thought that was really cool, and I do like that it's the Bad Batch look. We don't have too many Bad Batch of these, so that's cool. VC370, all right, really nice figure. I do not unbox these. I keep them in the package. What I do try to do is eventually, if I can find some very cheap versions of these vintage figures that I really like the character, say in Ollie's or in Ross, or if I find them at a toy show. Sometimes people have these figures, the vintage collection has been around so long now, 15 years. So some of those older ones that were common, people are putting them in a discount bin for $4 or $5 a figure. So there you go. All right, now we have, if that was VC370, now we have VC369, Rocket Launcher Trooper from Jedi Survivor video game. I generally do not collect video game figures, but it's part of the VC collection. I don't consider myself having obsessive compulsive disorder, but if I had, 367, 368, and I skipped over to 370, I think that would gnaw at me a little bit. So I did decide to continue to get as long as I have the VC number, I will get the figure. Okay, so even though I don't really have a connection to this figure, I'm just considering it part of the full collection. One more. And another Jedi Survivor figure. Again, one I have no idea what it is. Cool looking figure though. Night Sister Marin. Okay, VC367. I like the purple. I like the purple backdrop and the purple color, the pill color and the backdrop color. Pretty cool. Interesting character. I think if there is, unfortunately my card sadly enough, is a little bit bent. So, I don't know. That's kind of bad. The other two came out all right. The only thing I might say is I might reach out to Entertainment Earth, take a photo of it, and see if they could send me a replacement. Because I don't think this is an uncommon card. I'll send this one back if they choose that. So I'll take a photo of that and see. Because I've never tried that. I'll let you know how that works if I actually follow through on that. I'll let you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, they packaged it fairly well. Not as well as their individual card. The individual card, it was like within a box, within another box. So it's pretty safe. This one, they just took 3 figures, wrapped them in paper, and stacked them all together. Not even fully like back on back each other. It might have been better off if they stacked them like this, or even like one like this and one like this, and one kind of in the middle. I don't know. There was some other options on how to ship it, but they did not do that. So I'll see. I'm not really that concerned. If they don't send me one, it's fine. I don't think it's going to be a crazy expensive figure. All right, last one, bigger box. Now, this one I'm curious about. Oh yes, this is what I was hoping. And this one I'm excited about for many reasons. It's scratching a vintage itch, and it's something that I've never been able to acquire in any form. It is the Cantina Adventure Set. Not the original Cantina Adventure Set, but this is in fact a Cantina Adventure Set that is a mock-up or a reproduction by Hasbro/Kenner of the original that they released. Now, this is in fact a figure, a little figure. It's nothing more than a figure display arena made of a little cardboard base and a cardboard or card stock even backdrop with some really cool art on it. And then they included 4 figures in the set. I believe this was, I can't remember if this was a Sears or I think it was a Sears exclusive, which meant it was a little more rare, a little harder to find. But the really cool throwback about the original one of these, the one that came out in the 70s, is that it came with 4 figures, but one of the figures, and you can see him here, or at least a version of him, was in fact a blue snaggletooth, right? I have that blue snaggletooth here. Wait a minute. I should have had this pre-prepped. There he is. Here is my original blue snaggletooth that I purchased from Star Wars Daddy. Thank you, Star Wars Daddy. It's the second one I own. I own a first one from years and years ago that's in my display collection. What I love about this is that it's the original card back is pretty much identical. Okay, the box is pretty much identical. The figures, they chose to go modern, and a lot of other reviewers are saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. They should have given us a retro version and given us retro reproduction figures." I understand that. But I think that my theory, and it's only a theory, I have no real basis of authority to give you a definitive answer, it's just a guess, is that they did not want to make a retro version of this for fear of people using it as a way to sell up reproductions. Because this figure, I mean, mine is slightly damaged, a little bit of paint wear and everything, and I think I paid maybe $100 to $125 for it, which is pretty good, actually, I think. And it doesn't have a weapon, that's the other thing. I can find another accessory probably pretty cheaply to give it to this character, the same kind of accessory that it had, which I'll get to eventually. But the thing that really makes this problematic is that there are a lot of people that already make reproductions of the figure, and they do a good job, and it's hard to tell the difference. And I understand that from people who are very much against reproductions. I understand how that can be a problem. I know with the officially licensed Hasbro Kenner ones, there is a date stamp on the leg, you know, and you can see that it's clearly not from 1970s at 9 or 8 or whenever it is. So I get that. But in this case, I felt like this was something that I truly wanted to, you know, have as part of the collection. Now, there's other 3 figures that it comes with modern versions of, and that includes this guy, Hammerhead. Do I have any more in here? These are kind of my displayable figures. I don't need them to be complete. I don't know if I have the other 2 here. Let me just kind of set them. Let me just. Oh, yeah. There's Snaggletooth. Well, actually, no. This is the regular Snaggletooth, so he stays in here. I need to find a Greedo and a Walrus Man. So I don't know if I have. Oh, yeah. I do have a Walrus Man here. I don't know if I have a Greedo. I'm gonna have to find another Greedo somewhere. Yeah. I don't have any. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I have a Greedo. Okay, cool. So I have all of my. This is kind of like my leader set of figures. Some of them are better. But I don't plan on selling these. I plan on just using these for displays within the collection, which I like doing. So I finally have my 4 there, so I can do this. So I will take this right now. Let's very gently use this because I am not going to unbox the figures that these come with. I always put them on display. And I'll put the box on display probably too. Yeah, this box is bigger because of the figure. I don't think the original, in fact, I know, the original was the box probably a little bit smaller, a little bit more condensed because it didn't come in carded figures. So this one needed to be bigger to accommodate the carded figures. Now these carded figures are in fact regular numbered figures. Okay, we have 377, right? Wait a minute. Oh, there. So those were like, we were like looking at 367, 369, 370. Now we're moving on. Here's the Walrus Man 377. Now, let's look and compare. Okay, this is similar. The card back is very similar. And, you know, they did honor the color scheme, even though the figure itself is a repaint of what one of the more modern versions of the figure is. So, but I do like that they kept the color scheme. I think that's a fun little homage, if you will. Here's another one. Here's the Hammerhead. Yes, Moma Nadan is his name. And you can see, right, compared to it, you can see that we have had, you know, a similar color scheme, although obviously a very different figure, right? This is VC 376. So that's really cool. Got Greedo. Again, they've released all of these figures before. They're just now releasing them for the purposes of this particular playset or diorama or backdrop. They have given the figures the same color palette. And I like that. I have some of these, the Black Series versions that I have kept because they are, again, a throwback to the original. But since I now have this figure, that figure is probably going to end up getting put out in the sale, that I have the Black Series version. If they ever make, I don't know if they'll ever make an Obi-Wan, like a modernized Obi-Wan, but in the color scheme of the original, like they did for Black Series. I don't know if they're going to do that. All right, the last one here is the blue Snaggletooth. Before I show you this, let me take this guy out of his little baggie here. Yeah, this one has some pretty bad paint issue on the boots, but I don't care because I just wanted to have I'm okay with having like rare figures that are beat up and I can spend far less money because they'll still go up in value. So this is kind of hard to see, but yeah, there you go. Got his boots, got his, you know, this version is just like kind of a standard figure torso versus the actual Snaggletooth, which is kind of a, you know, hunched back a little bit. I gotta say, I love, you know, fun little fact, this picture from Holiday Special. So there you go. This outfit has been painted or even just, you know, computer past, you know, added onto it, has just been that to kind of take away that. The photo that Kenner was using at the time was in fact a black and white photo. So that's one of the reasons why we had, and it was just the upper torso, which is why we have a tall blue Snaggletooth, and then later they corrected it by giving us a short, because they had one scene with the one character reaching for the drink. That's what they decided to call that one, even though it wasn't technically the same one, I don't think, or at least it was somewhat different. All right, now the rest of this is really just holding the cardstock together, which is pretty basic. It's just a nice little boom, okay? There it is. It feels like, oh, I see, okay. So there is some bend here, so let me work on that. Boom, 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 okay. It looks like we have a slit here at the bottom, so let me see if I can put that in there and slide it in without tearing it. This is a nice cardstock. It's actually very, I don't know if this is exactly how the original worked, because I never had it. The other one that they did of this was the Bespin freeze chamber, and that also included 4 figures. I was starting to say before, they didn't put them in the cards. which is hence why the blue Snaggletooth, he was never released as a card. That's why they kind of, you know, doctored up a card for him. Okay. I got a few stands here that I'll use to put my 4 figures in. And yeah, I'm not going to be putting in the 4 regular figures. Oh no, nay, nay. I'm going to be putting in the 4. In fact, you know what? I'm going to actually use this as kind of a way to stack it up so you can see it without damaging anything. There we go. Oh, still need some more. Okay, I'm going to actually adjust this slightly. There we go. All right, so we've got Greedo. No weapons on any of these. I do have figures with weapons, which I'll probably switch out. Or maybe I'll just find 4 more weapons for them. They're not, I don't think any of these had very uncommon weapons. So I can probably find them in a claim sale. There's Walrus Man. These are the names we knew. We knew nothing of Moma, Nadon. The only name we had was Greedo. Okay, and there we go. And that is our, as close to the original as I'm gonna get. Back, you know, JCPenney / Sears, I can't remember which one. Exclusive Cantina adventure set. Not the Creature Cantina, which is a great set and a great play set with a lot of great play features. This was really nothing more than a diorama display. And I'm sure some people like to put other characters in. But remember, back in the Star Wars day, this is all we got. These 4 aliens were it. And this guy wasn't even in the movie. Or at least not like this. So we could put the other Snaggletooth in there as a 5th one. But that was pretty much it until the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. And we started getting all the other figures. But that is what I've been hoping to have out here. So I'm going to find a space that I can put this out with the box. My figures I'll put in clamshell cases and put them in you know, file them into the order of figures as part of the VC collection, which are great. But this is what I was really excited about. So thank you, Hasbro. I'm not upset that you didn't make it a retro set. Mainly because you've even released some of these figures as retro, or maybe just one. But these are easy to come by, loose figures. So thank you. I'm good with it. Do more of this. Let's do the best one. Even though the best one didn't really include any rare figures with it, it's still cool to kind of have a throwback. So maybe they'll do one with the retro figures as part of the, you know, next San Diego Comic-Con or celebration or whatever. The 50th anniversary is coming up, so who knows. All right, lots of stuff here. Now, this camera is actually sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4 more unboxings. We have, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw one more in here. I'm sorry. I know this video is running long, but I did receive 2 items in the mail that I would like very much to add to these. So give me 1 second. These are not, I repeat, these are not official figures. These are, in fact, retro figures, and that's okay. I'm not a judgmental person when it comes to retro figures. I think custom figures. I think when you do customize, I think retro customization is by far the better way to go, because it is more of a throwback to anybody from my age who did that. And hopefully, I don't know if the small stands will work, but he does have the pegs. So let's see. One of the most exciting parts, really? Come on. Okay, I got that. One of the most exciting parts about the creature, or the Cantina set from HasLab, was the release of a couple of new figures. One of them being like one of those highly sought after sets, I should say, set of 2 figures that has eluded us for so many years. And I was hoping that they would make them, and they did. So I'm very excited to add these 2 to the collection. We have the Tonica sisters. There's one of them. Is it Brea and Brianna or something like that? And here's the other one. I believe these came from, I don't want to give the wrong credit, but I think they were Trash Compactor. I believe they're Trash Compactor on Etsy that released those figures to us. I decided, I did receive, if you watch the episodes, you've seen I did a HasLab unboxing and putting it all up together. I'm going to do some updating on that in a future episode. But I really wanted retro versions of those figures to put in this collection. And maybe I'll bounce them back and forth because I have a lot of retro style figures in the HasLab Cantina. So maybe these two will find their way in both. So that'll do it. A lot of unboxings today, but I still got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I have 6. There's 2 in the garage. I'm actually going to have an episode in the future where I actually film it because most of the stuff I know is going right into the sale area. So I figured save some time and just unbox it there and show it there and find a place to store it there. This is for the collection though, so I'm so happy to have it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram, Bluesky. Like and subscribe, as I mentioned. Do the things where you leave comments. I love comments. I want to talk to you guys about everything. The more comments you leave, the more likes you give, the more this channel goes out to other people and other people get aware of it. So make them become aware of it. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys, new or retro, be with you.